What's up, friends? Today, we are going to be talking about the 4 things that you need to know before you start a podcast. I am so excited to dive in. These are the actual tactical things that are going to take away all of that confusion, all of that fear of starting so that you actually know what the heck, like actually truly, do I have to have before I start. 4 simple things, and you're going to be ready to go. I hope you're ready for this. Let's dive in. Are you ready to grow your online business, make consistent income, start a successful podcast? Welcome to Online Business for Christian Women with Stephanie Gass. It's time to grow, girl. All right, so my name is Stephanie Gass. I'm a top 20 podcast host of Online Business for Christian Women. I've been podcasting for 5.5 years. And so I know exactly what not to do when starting a podcast. And I also know what to do because I actually teach other women to start and men to start podcasts so that they can grow an audience online in less time. So I've really just drilled this down to the 4 very basic things that you need before you start your podcast. All right, the very first thing that you need to know before you start a podcast is your niche. What the heck is your podcast going to be about? And what are you going to say? And who are you going to say it to? And kind of what is that content plan? So I like to kind of create this visual for you of a pocket, okay? Like imagine that this is a little pocket and you are going to decide what this pocket is that you want to serve, and you're going to climb into that pocket and you're going to live there, okay? So for example, if you're like, I'm going to start a podcast on health, that's not a pocket, okay? That's like 5 loads of laundry. It's like all kinds of stuff. We want to like filter through the laundry, okay, and find like your top 3 t-shirts that have pockets and be like, okay, it's not just health, but it is, let's say it's meal planning, or let's say that it's meal prep. Cool. Now, what about those 2 shirts? What's the pocket? Well, I'm going to teach meal prep to busy working moms. Boom. I call this a micro niche. If you guys have been hanging out with me for any amount of time, or if you're in the Stephanie Gass School, you know that I'm a huge advocate for the micro niche. It's 3 layers deep. So we went health, meal planning for busy working moms. Okay. Climb into that pocket. If you have no idea what the pocket niche is that you serve, and yes, I think I've said niche and niche. It's fine. It's fine. Either one, right? Potato, tomato. Come to my free workshop. I have a totally free class called freeclarityworkshop.com. This will help you get super clear on that niche. The second thing you need to know before you start a podcast is that you're going to need to have 3 episodes recorded. Inside of Podcast Pro University, which is my podcasting course that I have you guys record 3. Now, why 3? Because the first episode is typically your story. It's why you started the show. It's who the show is for. It's almost a teaser with some storytelling just to get people excited about this brand new podcast that you're launching into the world. We don't want to leave people there. They're going to be like, cool, I heard your story, but like, now what? We want to give them something to binge for week 1 when we launch the show. So I have my students do 3 episodes. These don't have to be long or drawn out. These are really, if I was to give you some tips here, these are going to be the very first things that your pocket niche would be wanting to know or struggling with if they were to start this journey of getting the solution that they want. So for example, that pocket we talked about of meal prep for busy working moms, maybe the very first episode is your story, and that second episode is something like why meal prep can be easy, right? Because maybe they haven't even started. They haven't even bought in to the fact that they're going to meal prep. Start there, okay? And then make it a micro bite-sized takeaway. If you need more help with that, like I said, I have a podcasting course, podcastprouniversity.com to help you with that. Okay, number 3, the third thing that you're going to need and that you need to know about before you start a podcast is that you need to have equipment. This isn't a lot of equipment. Honestly, if you have a newer iPhone, the microphone on the iPhones aren't bad. But I recommend that you guys start with a Yeti. Blue Yeti got me very, very far, my little Blue Yeti. It's about $100 or less. It's a great standalone microphone. Please note, pro tip, if you're using the Blue Yeti microphone, you're going to talk into it forward facing about this far away, and you're going to have it on the third pattern, which looks like the butt cheeks, okay? Talk straight into it, not like this, but like this. And this is because it is a stereo microphone, and so it's going to capture other sounds. It's just a different type of microphone. We don't have to get complicated here, but that is a great starter mic. The second mic that I have now recently actually upgraded to is the Rode PodMic USB. So you're actually listening to me right now on the Rode PodMic. And the only reason that I upgraded is because my Yeti mic pooped out on me after 5 years of podcasting, which is like crazy awesome that it's made it that far. It was starting to go. It was getting a little staticky and I was having issues. So I did some research and I've upgraded. Do you need to do that? No, you definitely don't. Between the mic and the arm that it's attached to, that whole equipment bundle was about $350. The mic itself is $200. Again, that's the Rode USB PodMic. So either of those are great starter microphones, and that's a great thing, a great place to start. All right, the fourth thing that you need to know about starting your podcast is that you're going to have some software. So when we speak into our microphones and we're sharing some awesome stuff on our new Pocket Niche podcast, like for example, start with this one thing before you meal prep. How to plan what you're meal prepping. My 30-minute or less meal prep formula. The one thing you should meal prep each week to have tons of success. 4 meal prep hacks made easy. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? It's like those are literally coming out of my brain. And when you join the Stephanie Gass School, I have all the templates and all the fun stuff for you guys to have a plug and play titling solution. Because I know sometimes that's the things that we get stuck on. So we'll help you with the hows over at Steph Gass and team. But you're going to have some software because speaking into the microphone, it's going nowhere. Where's it going? I don't know. So I actually record my podcast episodes with Audacity. It is free. I've used it for 5.5 years. It's super great. If I am recording a podcast episode and recording a YouTube video at the same time, I can use Zoom, which is a free solution, or I've recently invested in Riverside, which we'll put a link for you guys below if you want to check them out. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's really great. It's kind of this all-in-one platform that helps with production and not multitasking. That's me multitasking, thinking and talking at the same time. It helps with repurposing. There it is. So if you guys want to check out Riverside, again, that link is below, but you can totally do this for free in Zoom. So that's the software that I use. And I just edit right within Audacity for my audio, and you can edit right within Riverside for your video footage if you do video footage as well. But again, you don't have to do, full disclaimer here, I never added video to my podcast until I was over 1.6 million downloads, till I had a full team of people helping me. You don't want to have 2 fixer-uppers at the same time. You want to have one house beautifully built, done, fenced in, perfectly painted, operating. This house is fully done, amazing. We can easily cover the mortgage before we go, let me buy another fixer-upper, right? And learn a whole nother thing and build a whole nother thing. Don't start 2 things at once. Pick your one core thing. Blow that thing up before you go start something new. Please trust me. So that was a bonus tip. So those are the 4 things that you need to know before you start your podcast. I'm going to throw one more awesome bonus at you right now, which is not on the list, but I think you must know this. And it's that the cover of your podcast is extremely important. So bonus tip is to get professional podcast art done. I think one of the worst mistakes that people make is trying to create their own podcast art, and it just doesn't look professional, and it doesn't have the key components that professional podcast art should have, like a podcast title that's clear and juicy and understandable and SEO rich, a little tagline of like, what is this podcast is about? Professional photography of you or a stock photo of some kind. Like having that professional art is going to mean the complete difference between somebody clicking on your show and someone else's show that doesn't know you. So if you had $150 right now and you were like, what do I do with it, Steph? Do I buy the microphone or do I buy the podcast art? I would buy the art. I would get really professional art and use your phone for 3 months until you saved up another $150 to invest in the microphone. Seriously. And I've been a podcast coach for a long time and you're hearing it here first. That is so critically important for you. Okay. So those are the things I wanted you to know before you start your podcast. If you want some help with this, like I said, I have a podcasting course at podcastprouniversity.com that takes you through 12 steps of launching and starting your very own podcast. We have a student community. I do coaching in there once a month to help you guys with your journey. It's an incredible way to take out the how. It's got the tech tutorials in there for you. It is so good. If you have been struggling to start because the how is this big like wall that you can't seem to break through, podcastprouniversity.com. I also have a free checklist that you guys can download, stephaniegass.com/checklist, or I have a podcasting workshop. So lots of resources to help you. And that one is at podcastforgrowth.com. So all kinds of awesome resources to help you get unstuck on your podcasting journey. I hope that this has helped you and given you courage and inspiration that it's actually not as hard as maybe you've made it out to be. And I can't wait for you to bring your voice and message to the world to help the people that God has called you to help through your podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I have a new video for you every single week right here on this channel. Be sure you subscribe, you click that notification bell, and you check back every week for another episode on podcasting, growing your online business, being partnered with God in the things you're called to do. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I can't wait to keep growing with you.